Elijah laughed and said, "Guess you folks kind of thirsty around here. Didn't see anybody swimming in the swimming pools when I came in. Folks had a little drought or something?" "Yeah," said Elijah. Don't you get funny with me. You know perfectly what the trouble is." "Yeah, I know what the trouble is. The trouble is you're living like a devil. That's the trouble." "No, that isn't the trouble. The trouble is, when you came here 3 years ago, you said there wasn't going to be a due rain according to your word. You've been controlling this thing. You're responsible. You're guilty. You're guilty, Elijah. You're the one that's at fault." "Why, you reprobate. Don't you know God said He causes rain to fall on the just and the unjust alike? Why, the very idea you saying I shut up the clouds of heaven so it couldn't rain. Ain't a man on earth that can shut up the clouds so they can't rain. They have. Only person to do that's God. And the Lord is God." And boy, about the time he said that, about 450 of those ecumenical fellows said, "Baal is God." Elijah turned around there and those old beetly eyebrows lowered over those eyes just narrowed up to a squint. And he said, "The Lord's God." And that 450 yelled back and said, "Baal is God! Baal is God! Baal is God! Rah, 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 rah! Baal is God! Rah, 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 rah! Baal, 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 Baal! Hooray!" 4 RSVs and beads and candles up in the air. And Ahab go back and said, "Well, tell what we'll do. Tell what we'll do." And of course he was just stalling for time, trying to think, because he knew who the Lord was. He knew. He said, "Tell what we'll do. We'll have a contest. I mean, we got to have rain. We've got to have rain. Now, people are dying, our animals are dying. We'll have a contest, and we'll see who's God. How does that suit you?" Elijah said, "That suits me to a T, King. I couldn't have said it any better if I said it myself." Ahab said, "Well, of course, now I realize you may be a little outnumbered here. I mean, you're up against the best scholarship of our day, and the majority of these scholars all agree that you're a heretic. And the 450 of them in perfect agreement. Obviously, you're wrong because you're in the minority." Well, Elijah laughed and said, "When was the majority of them right, King? In Noah's day, there was 8 of them. In Lot's day, there was 3 of them. When was the majority of it right? Ahab, you know your Bible better than that. Don't you woof me, brother. You had a good mother. She raised you right." Ahab ducked it and said, "Well, if you don't mind, with all this bunch lined up against you, it's all right with me." And Elijah turned around and he said, "That bunch, that bunch, I bless God. If I spit on them one time, I'd drown the whole group." Now, I'll tell you what, you big lemonade, lacy britches, cigarette sucking, bottle stopping, cocktail drinking, yellowback chicken liver, pussy footing, book licking, bread and butter promise. Someone back there in the group said, "My goodness, what a vocabulary for a minister. How base can you get?" Another one pulled his clerical collar and said, "Really, I think that man was preaching is an extremely bad taste." And Elijah didn't pay attention to it any more than a bulldog going down the street with a bunch of ice dogs snapping at his heels. He said, "Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go up Mount Carmel. Have a little worship service up yonder, a little prayer meeting. I'll tell you what you boys do. You build an altar like your convention prescribes it. You put whatever sacrifice on that thing you want to put on that thing. It'll make a flip to me one way or another. And if you think that God is Baal, you just call on him. You just holler. And if he answers by fire, I'll be the quickest convert you ever had in all your life. I said I'll do. You can't break down the fire, I'll build my own altar. Like God told Moses to do it before they got the tabernacle. I'll put up my sacrifice, like God told him. And if I call down the fire, on my church, you lose your heads. How's that? And those old prophets got their heads together and started to talk that thing over, but they were drowned out by the voice of about 2,000 thirsty people in that court. They said, that's good, that's a real show, that's a fair show, that's over the board, right, that's fair play, that's a good deal, we'll buy that right out. And if they had any plans of ducking that contest, they missed the boat. The people were for it. So out they went.